was converted over to a diesel-powered paddle wheeler. It was built up into a bit of a showboat and operated as such for some time. It actually sank down there, and some new owners got hold of it. They raised it up and rebuilt it. Came up to Echuca a couple of years ago. It actually sank at its moorings here as well. So probably should be renamed the submarine. The other boat, as we round up and get over the other side of the river a bit, you'll get a glimpse of a green steamer on the other side of the amphibious. It's called the Hero. It's an old heritage boat that was originally built in 1874. After quite an extensive working life, it burnt and sank in 1957 near Boundary Bend. And it lay on the riverbed there for about 40 years before being recovered, and it has undergone quite extensive restoration work since. The boat you're on at the moment, the Alexander Arbuthnot, was built 1923 down at Kundrook. It was named after the owner of the sawmill down there for whom it was built. It was used to tow their logging barges, transporting their milling timber. And later on it was sold, came back up this way to Yilma Station. It was then used to transport charcoal from the Barmah Forest back to Echuca for the gas producers. At the end of the wharf to the left there, you'll see the big paddle steamer Pevensey. Pevensey was built 1910 as a barge called the Mascot. 1911 they converted that barge into a cargo steamer you see there now. The Pevensey is 111 feet long, it weighs 130 tonne, and carry up to 120 tonnes of cargo on its forward and aft holds, and only draws 2.5 feet of water. It's powered by a 20 horsepower wood-fired Marshall steam engine, and it was named after Pevensey Station, a large sheep run up on the Murrumbidgee River near Hay in New South Wales. A little further along you'll see a white barge there. It's called the D26. That was one of 4 outrigger logging barges owned by the Murray River Sawmills here in Echuca, and they were all towed behind the paddle steamer Adelaide. I'll give you a description of the Adelaide in a few minutes' time. It's out of the water at the moment up ahead of us. But you'll notice the logs across its deck on the barge. They're the outriggers. The other logs slung by chains alongside are the actual milling logs. That was one of the methods they used to transport their timber. Back when that was a working barge, those outriggers were much longer than that, enabling the barge to carry up around 35 to 40 milling logs alongside. There's only a few on there nowadays for demonstration purposes. Further along is the Canberra, built 1913 down at Goolwa, South Australia. Originally built as a single-deck fishing boat, it operated as such until 1938 when it was converted into a light craft cargo steamer. 1945 they built a promenade deck on top, glassing closed it, became the passenger carrying boat you see there now. Further down is the motor vessel Marianne, that was built down at Goolwa as well, but in 1981. Came up here in the mid-80s. That's a newer type boat, as you can see. It's actually a cruising cafe. Okay, we're on our right. The steamer on the wharf there, the one close to the river, is called the Adelaide. Now the Adelaide is in fact the oldest timber-hulled steamer still operating in the world. It was built here in Echuca in 1866. Spent the first part of its working life as a passenger and tow steamer operating out at Murraydown Station near Swan Hill. Later on it was sold, it came back to Echuca. It was bought by the Murray River Sawmills here. They used it for nearly 90 years, towing their logging barges to and from the Barmah Forest. They operated right through to about 1956. 1958 they sold it off to the sawmills down at Coringa in South Australia. It was down there for a couple of years, then the Echuca Historical Society bought it, and with the help of the local Apex Club at the time, they brought it back here, and via a series of cofferdams floated up out of the river into the Hopwood Gardens, where it remained in the park there as a static display for about 20 years. Then it was restored, refloated, recommissioned here in 1985 by Prince Charles and Princess Diana. I'll leave the commentary there for the time being, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, feel free to talk to the crew. Meanwhile, sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise.
That's a small one. This one. Big also? For two?
Still bigger than the one I went on.
For two people. How about this?
Getting close, yeah, maybe that's right.
Yeah, that one is good, for two people.